I was standing looking at ice cream, and then a worker just walked like almost in my face, you know. I think Norway can learn a lot from Germany, but today we'll put it the other way around, and I'm gonna share a few points that I think Germany can learn from Norway. Education system in Germany is a lot different than we have in Norway. It's a little bit complicated, and to me, I don't know if it makes so sense. When you're like 10 years old or after that, depending on how smart you are, you can choose, or you get put into 3 different categories. The lowest one, I guess, if you're not that smart, is called Hauptschule. And then the second one, where you're like kind of medium, I guess, is called Realschule. And then the third one, the highest class, which is like the best one, is called the Gymnasium. You get like divided in those schools, and I mean, I guess it's then harder for like the Hauptschule to become doctors, if not possible, or I guess you can take a few years of school or do something extra to maybe get in, but I guess it's more hard. When you're so young, how can you first of all even know what you want to be at 10 years old? And second of all, you're young, like you can get better, you know, after you get older, I guess. Let me just explain to you real quick how the Norwegian system works. You go from 1st to 10th grade, normal, everybody does that. And then when you are around 16, I guess, you can choose then what you want to kind of become. You can choose a school that leads to apprenticeship, or you can choose something more of a higher education. And then if you, for example, want to become a doctor, you have to go then 3 years. Then when you are, I guess, around 19, then you can go to university, and depending on what you want to be, you just choose, and if your grades allow it, you will get into the school. I think maybe Germany could have a better school system, at least the beginning of the years. In Norway, we don't really pay for gas. We pay for gas, but we usually can do it on the automat outside. Here in Germany, that's very rarely. I don't really see it that often. Oh, I have to go like inside and stuff like that. I just think that it's just more convenient, or just more easier, I guess, just to do it outside. And yeah. Something that I was so shocked by is that when you rent an apartment, there's not always that the kitchen follow with. Usually the owner takes the kitchen into the next place they move into, and luckily for us, the first apartment, or the first place we moved into, the kitchen was already there, so we didn't need to like deal with all that stuff. But actually, I think it's so weird. I was like, huh? Like in Norway, usually the kitchen, it's just, you never bring your kitchen somewhere else. Like, first of all, the kitchen fits where it is, and second of all, it's so much like stress and so much more extra work to do that. So I just think that's very funny how they do it here. Like, I don't understand why, because every place needs a kitchen, you know, so why not just let it stay where it is? I think that in Germany there is a lack of modernization, and it goes pretty slow. Lots of paperwork, and you know, they do, of course it works, and they always did it like that, but you know, it doesn't mean that they cannot upgrade it to like nowadays, like new technology. Like in Norway, everything goes mostly electronically, and it's so chill, it's so nice, it goes so fast, and you don't need to have a bunch of like folders or papers everywhere, you know, and things go pretty fast. So yeah, I just think that Germany can maybe evolve a little bit in that area. And also like about cash too, you know, I don't ever think I came across a place in Norway where you only could use cash. At least that must be years ago, you know. Smoking in Germany is a big thing. I noticed that a lot, because in Norway smoking is not really a big thing anymore. It maybe used to be a little bit before, but now it's not so often you see people smoking. And here there is so many people that smoke, especially in big cities. They're just everywhere, like in Norway we don't really do that. I just think it's maybe a little bit like annoying at times, where you always I'm not saying everywhere you go people smoke, but it's just a lot more smoking here than I'm used to. And I think that, you know, smoking is very bad for your health, and maybe it's like a culture thing or something that they do together, or I don't really know. I'm a little bit more passionate about this one. I have talked about it before, and it's about that in cinemas you can very rarely find the original language when you watch a movie. Obviously you can find it some places. It's not that I go often to cinemas at all, I actually never were here, but I think as a foreigner you notice those things. When a movie is in German, I watch it in German, you know, and if it's in French, I watch it in French. Obviously I have subtitles, but most people know English too, so why not watch it? You know what, I'm not gonna rant about this subject so much anymore. I don't want to like offend anyone, but honestly I think that sometimes it can go pretty slow in grocery stores. I have talked about the crazy cashiers that takes like everything super fast, you know, and that I get so stressed every time I go there. Honestly, I'm doing a little bit better now, but I have really noticed that they really take their time with each customer. They wait for you to pack or take all your groceries before they even start, and they kind of look at you and wait. And you know, many times there's a big line, only one cashier. I have noticed that like a lot more than I am used to in Norway. We're so quick. Usually there's people always at the cashiers, and you know, and I also feel like maybe the customer service here is not that great. I feel like it depends maybe where you go. But I've noticed that sometimes I feel like I am bothering the workers. You know, I'm not always met with a hi or a smile, you know. I feel like they kind of are in their own world. You know what? I heard people talk about this before, and I notice it obviously much more than people who live in Germany. I don't really have a specific experience, except one time that I was standing looking at ice cream and then a worker just walked like almost in my face, you know. You could say that these things can be kind of cons about Germany, but the reason I brought them up was because in Norway we do it differently, and I think it's maybe works a little bit better in Norway. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys very soon again. Bye!